Good morning all, my name is Haley Comet and welcome to just another Magic Monday. Your cosmic overview to what's happening in the stars the week of July 5th to July 11th, 2021. We've got quite a few events happening this week, from Venus opposite Saturn, Mercury entering Cancer, the new moon in Cancer, and I'm here to break down all these cosmic events into bite-sized videos so you can start your week getting cosmically and energetically in sync with the universe. Hey cosmic cuties, just a quick heads up that there was a mic issue while I was recording this, so at some points it sounds very tinny and hollow. It's only a couple of moments, but I wanted to apologize before you dive in, and it won't happen again. I will place my mic in a better location. I would love to invite you to join me every Monday. It's posted at the beginning of every week at 2:30 a.m. EDT, 5:30 a.m. PDT. Please let me know if that's a good time, if you would prefer earlier, if you're somewhere else in the world. I'm so open for criticism, whether it's constructive or destructive. You know, my Virgo moon rising, always looking to improve. But honestly, just so honored that you chose to spend part of your week with me, and let's take it into the vibe check of the week. So vibe check of the week is a energetic thematic take on, when I look at the aspects, what I think of. So you have an emotion or an image to sort of latch on to. This week's astrology feels like when you're out of a relationship, perhaps one that made you feel very safe and very cozy, and you're getting back into the dating field and you go on such a bad date that you're like, oh my gosh, I got ready for this. This was a chunk of my time that I could have been at home with my cat eating takeout for real. And then you almost have that moment where you're just like, well, I'm just not gonna do it anymore. I'm comfortable within my own space. It's a no. It's a no-go for me. It's a no. That's what this week feels like. And let me elaborate on why that is. So this week we have Venus opposite Saturn. Now we experienced Mars opposite Saturn last week, and let me know how that went for you all. The day it exacted, I took my boyfriend to the emergency room because he stepped on a cactus. But he's okay. But so Mars opposite Saturn, he was trying to just go about his daily work, Mars, and Saturn is restriction and limitation. So let me know how that panned out for you all. This week, Saturn's coming for Venus. Now Venus is love, it's enjoyment, it's pleasure, it's money. And common theme with Saturn is just feeling like there's not enough. Because Saturn is the planet of reality, right? It's strict, it's concerned with deadlines and budget and all those annoying pesky parts of being human. Saturn looks at anything and is like, well, there's literally not enough of it. Like, we've got to allot it to all of these things. What are you gonna do? You can't play with reality. As much as my Piscean self would like to, Saturn is like, this is what it is, and that's that. So when we have Saturn aspects, there's this feeling that we don't have enough of something. With Mars opposite Saturn, we didn't have enough, energy to conquer all the limitations and frustrations and challenges that we were undergoing. And this week there's a feeling of being short on love, or short on money, or short on beauty. So it's almost like that feeling when you're on a date and you're just like, this is not it. You are not it. And there's almost this feeling of being like, well, am I ever gonna find love? Should I go back to my ex? Am I not pretty enough for this person? There's just this feeling of having to go face to face with reality and just being like, oh. And the first part of the week is a balsamic moon, which balsamic moon, not the vinaigrette, it is the waning crescent moon phase, the last moon phase in the cycle. And it's basically when the moon is shedding its last light before it preps for a new moon. And it's typically a time that we might feel a call to be on our own, right? To come inward, to be a little bit more introspective. And there's this sort of fun Sun sextile Uranus energy at the beginning of the week where it's like daring to say yes to that person that you might not normally go on a date with. But then by the end of the week, just being like, nope, I'm good here. I am good here. I've got my cat. I've got my show. I've got my takeout. It's a no. I tried to go outside and it was not for me. I had to listen to someone talk to me about crypto over a lukewarm pot of mac and cheese, and I would rather be in my own presence. And that's a beautiful thing, truly, is feeling comfortable enough and confident enough within your own self. So in that way, this week is sort of a win in sort of having this breakthrough moment in regards to, well, I feel safe within my own presence and I don't really need to outsource, my comfort to other people. I can source that from within. Or maybe what yours looks like is really hankering down with the people that you care about the most, right? Who feel like home in a human being. That's what Cancer energy is all about. And on the topic of bad dates, I would love for you to drop below your worst date if you feel comfortable, or just like a detail from it. Mine, I've told a story on my Instagram before, but mine was sitting across from someone. I asked what their favorite book was and they wouldn't tell me, and I was like, well, that makes me want to know it more than, because they said it was quote unquote dangerous. So I was like, okay, what are you into? What's going on? I was a little freaked out. So I was like, could you just tell me? Because that makes me feel weird. And they said it wasn't anything crazy. It was 4-hour work week because it's about being an entrepreneur. And I was like, why is that dangerous? And they're like, if you read it, then you might want to be an entrepreneur or start your own business. And I can just see you don't have that within you. And this is the time that I did not have my own business. But even at the time, I was like, ouch. To be told that you're definitely this thing or fit that box. I was like, can we leave now? But of course, it was only the appetizer and I just had to sit through the whole thing. And then at the end, could not wait to get out of there. And they're like, can I have a ride? I walked here. I walked 5 miles here. Are you kidding me? Anyways, so that's mine. Let me know yours. But there is this breakthrough moment around really letting go of, outsourcing those sort of things, outsourcing our value, outsourcing where we feel, the most beautiful and where we find the most loved, and sourcing it from within, or sourcing it from, the community that feels like home, or our closest friends or our closest family. So let's take it into day by day. I'm going to try to remember to put timestamps every single week. I missed last week and didn't get to it till Thursday. I'm so grateful. I believe Amy was the one who told me about that, so thank you so much. I'm going to make a habit of always having timestamps. So let's break it down day by day. So beginning of the day, we start with an exalted Taurus moon, and the moon will be void at 9:57 to 6:24. Here's the thing, before you write down, because as you know, if you listen to these, when the moon's void, important tasks we must avoid, it's actually debated on whether the moon can truly go void within the sign of Taurus and within the sign of Cancer. Isn't that interesting? Because the moon is exalted in Taurus and its rulership in Cancer. So some astrologers argue that when the moon is in an inherently comfortable position, the void moon isn't that bad. So it's up to you what resonates with you. I personally avoid void moons, whatever sign they're in, but just in case you have something really important to do on Monday, it's not a hard no. It's like a no with a lowercase n. And with the Taurus moon, pay attention to your snacks. Some people have it off, so with the Taurus moon, this would be a great time to get a pedicure or eat some delicious food, go out for a meal, grab brunch, enhance pleasure within your life. And then with the Cancer Sun, sextile Uranus and Taurus, there is this invitation for the novelty, for some fun into your world. So that's why with the bad date, it's like saying yes to that person who spontaneously asks you. And it's not bad to go on bad dates. I feel like you learn something every time so long as you're being safe about everything. You learn something about yourself when you invite in novelty. But it's almost like as we shift to the end of the week, there's almost this feeling of okay, that was a little too out of my comfort zone. I know what I like. I know who I am. I'm gonna just hunker down into where I feel safe. But with Sun sextile Uranus, whether you're dating or you're not, this would be a great time to just invite in some novelty into your world. And it's interesting because it happens with the Cancer Sun, sextile Uranus and Taurus. And these are signs that don't really like to toe the line out of what's comfortable. Both signs are very security seeking. So you absolutely could seek this novelty by simply trying a new restaurant or walking a new way or, hanging out with a friend of a friend. Inviting novelty in ways that aren't super, super crazy, but at least some fun into your week. The moon will enter Gemini at 6:24, and this ramps up our communicative abilities, wanting to text the entire world, call the entire world, tweet all of our thoughts, share info, share insights. It's interesting because this happens while we're having that balsamic moon that I talked about a little bit earlier, which is typically a time of cleansing, of releasing, of purging. whether it's physical belongings within our home or just like mental cycles we're ready to let go of. And it typically can be a time that we feel a little bit on our hermit life. So it's interesting because the moon's in Gemini. So you might feel in the mood to communicate, but from the safety of your own bed or from your own home, like tweeting with the world, but like you're in your Snuggie. Does anyone still wear Snuggies? Does anybody remember Snuggies? Let me know. But that's what the energy feels like to me. It also could be a time of getting really in touch with your own mental and written processes. So perhaps journaling, songwriting, poetry writing, sort of making sense of the jumble of emotions and putting them into a linear line. Because with Gemini moon, it's very much like, oh, look, a squirrel sort of energy. And when moon is how we process emotions, so when the moon's in Gemini, we can find that we're able to more succinctly process our emotions by writing them down or talking them out to a friend, because it takes all of the emotions or everything that's sort of rushing through our mind and puts them into a story, a point A and a point B, which inherently makes us make sense of them ourselves. So whether it's, talking to your mom on the phone or writing someone a letter, having some way of processing your thoughts through words could be really helpful, especially since we're in this very introspective moon phase as we prep for Friday's Cancer new moon. That night, technically it exacts early Tuesday morning, but we'll start to feel it on Monday night, is Mercury in Gemini squaring Neptune in Pisces. And what this feels like is that deflating moment. It's like you're getting ready for the date, oh my gosh, what should I wear? What if we're really gonna get along? And then with Mercury in Gemini squaring Neptune in Pisces, it's that moment when you're sitting across the dinner table and you're like, this is just not it. And that dream, right, that's Neptune in Pisces, is being burst, right? And you're just sort of, it's like that deflate, like what it feels like is that like a balloon is sort of just deflating and you're like, oh, well, okay. How early is too early to leave? This is just not it for me. Other manifestations with Mercury in Gemini squaring Neptune Pisces, especially since Venus opposite Saturn occurs, is just being super mindful around media that is consumed this week and comparing yourselves to others. The other part of the square to Neptune, in addition to this deflating moment, is this feeling of believing into a dream that someone is selling you, whether it's a salesperson or your Instagram feed. Nothing is exactly how it seems in life. So just being mindful around not comparing yourself too much, because with Venus opposite Saturn occurring this week as well, it's this deflating moment in regards to our own beauty, our own value. And with Mercury in Gemini square Neptune, there's this feeling of what it is that we're seeing is to be believed. So that feeling after the bad date when you're on Instagram seeing all these happy couples and just like, does everyone have a bae except for me? I'm out here on these horrible dates where this individual has been talking for the last hour and a half about their passion for Pokemon. Like, for real, no shade to Pokemon lovers out there. I don't think anyone would want to hear about that for an hour and a half. Tuesday the 6th is when Venus opposite Saturn exacts. And it's that feeling of not feeling enough, not feeling beautiful enough, not feeling abundant enough, not feeling valuable enough, not feeling loved enough. That's why I'm saying being mindful around comparing yourself, because with Venus opposite Saturn, there's just this feeling of like, ugh. Some people it could be like a random expense popping up, or for some people it could be, harsh feedback around, their looks, a mean comment of some sort. For others, it could be, just an internal thing of just being like, I don't feel loved, or even like if you're in a relationship, feeling like Saturn, like theme, so work and responsibility are just really dampening your ability to just have fun and experience pleasure and just be in love with your partner. With Venus opposite Saturn, it's like we want Venus, which is pleasure and fun and creativity and all of the things, but it's being limited by Saturn. Work is getting in the way, responsibilities are getting in the way, limitations are getting in the way, lack of chemistry is getting in the way if you're on a bad date. And Venus in Leo just wants to play. So it's sort of like a frustrating sort of feeling. Just being mindful as you navigate this week to really make sure your self-love is on point. Last week was all about self-care. This week is all about self-love, because it's a week where you won't be able to really find it outside of you. It's sort of something that needs to be sourced from within or from your closest circle, those people that feel like home. Cancer is drawing our awareness to what feels safe, what feels emotionally nurturing. And it's almost like when we're in those surface level conversations on those bad dates, it just feels draining. We're just checked out. Cancer craves a love that is deep and that truly gets us and understands us in a place where we can feel safe and just let down the mask, let down our guard. And if we're in conversations or in social situations where we feel like we have to fake it, or we're just talking about stuff that doesn't really matter, there's just this deflating feeling of being like, I could be doing so much other meaningful stuff with my time. This is a waste of my time. So that Gemini moon will also sextile Leo, and it will trine Saturn in Aquarius. So it's a great day for work or just working through your tasks. Great day to, you know, call up a loved one, chat about everything under the sun. Great day to be creative with your words. And what's exciting is that Mercury finally clears the shadow. So we're finally getting some okay from the cosmos people to move forward with our lives and in a very heartfelt, emotionally supportive way with the Cancer new moon. Now, I wouldn't plan to launch anything until, you know, either on the day of the new moon, this Friday, or a little bit after. We want like a waxing moon for these type of things, but luckily Mercury has cleared the shadow. It passed Mercury square Neptune, so hopefully you'll be getting some clarity. Like I said, for the past month or so, the cosmos have been sort of murky. Like we had eclipses, we had Mercury retrograde, we had Mercury squaring Neptune, and with the final pass of Mercury squaring Neptune on Tuesday, the dream's starting to deflate. The vision that we had is starting to fade, and we're starting to get really, really clear and really honest with ourselves. Looking across from the person on a date and being like, I'm gonna be honest, this isn't it for me. You're not it for me, and that's okay. I'm gonna find what is it for me. That's the beautiful thing about realizing that something or someone is not it for us, is that it frees up our time and space. We can go find something or someone that is. And there's that clarifying feeling this week. Deflating, sure, kind of a bummer, especially if Neptune, you know, you built up this project, this person to be this thing, and like this week is sort of the deflating moment of being like, oh, it's really not that great. And then towards the end of the week being like, but I'm so sure of my vision and I'm so safe within my, you know, own self and my own spirit that I trust in my vision to go out and find what is right for me. Wednesday, the 7th, Mercury finally clears shadow. So finally some forward motion in terms of if you have to sign important contracts or things of the like. So on Wednesday as well, Venus and Leo will trine Chiron in Aries. And this is sort of like the recovery after that harsh Venus opposite Saturn of feeling like we're not good enough, we're not valuable enough, we're not rich enough, we're not beautiful enough. Honestly, this whole world is set up to make you feel that way. Just saying. I know that's not why you clicked on this video, but seriously, advertisements and companies are trying to sell you things, and you buy more stuff when you don't feel good about yourself. So feeling good about yourself is really a step to reclaim your power. And we kind of get that boost on Wednesday with Venus and Leo trining Chiron in Aries. Just to elaborate on Chiron a little bit more, Chiron is the wounded healer. So it's where we've been wounded, but where we are able to heal others and what grants us empathy. And Chiron is a comet between Saturn and Uranus. And when we have a nice Chiron trine, there's almost this energy, this very healing energy of feeling like we're able to move forward or to acknowledge our wounds or to acknowledge where we're insecure, but move forward within it. So with the Venus trine Chiron, it's almost that energy being like, that person wasn't it. They tried to tell me that I would never be an entrepreneur in my life. And Wednesday's energy where it's like, and that was a stranger and they don't know a thing about me, and I'm gonna go start a successful business because I can. Woo, little personal there, little personal there. And then also we have the Gemini moon meeting up with Mercury and Gemini, seriously, beginning of the week. So good for structuring and clarifying your thoughts, because clarity is coming in. So make sure you have some space to receive it, whether you're talking with a friend, with a loved one, maybe even insight will happen when you're on that bad date. But structuring your thoughts and being mindful of the intuitive hits or the aha moments that come in, because finally we're getting out of Mercury's confusing shadow. The moon is void on Wednesday at 9:20, closing aspect Moon in Gemini conjunct Mercury in Gemini. The moon enters Cancer on Thursday at 6:51, which is the sign of the new moon on Friday. Cancer moon will make a nice trine to Jupiter in Pisces on Jupiter's day, no less. Guys, our days with Jupiter in Pisces are limited. It transits at the end of July. I'm so sad. I've been looking forward to this transit since 2015. I remember looking ahead and being like, Jupiter in Pisces summer, that's gonna be so dreamy and euphoric and just all of the things. And now we only have like 28 more days. So live it up, especially if you have Pisces placements. Make the most of it. If you've been enjoying it as much as I have, then again, I have a lot of Pisces placements, so that could be that talking. But with Cancer moon trining Jupiter in Pisces, there is this abundance of good feelings. And to me, this feels like the breakthrough moment where it's like, but I feel good within my own space and I feel comfortable about who I am and what I want. And I'm not going to let other people tell me who I am or what I want. I know who I am. My close circle knows who I am. And that's all that matters. We also have, what's interesting is Venus in Leo squaring Uranus in Taurus. Uranus in Taurus is expecting the unexpected. With Venus in Leo, there is this unexpected or unpredictable nature flowing into our finances, our love, our beauty. With Thursday, there might be something unexpected in those realms, an unexpected expense, especially since it's opposing Saturn, an unexpected, event in your love life, something of the like. That Saturn-Uranus square, fixed signs are just going and kicking up, so now it's Venus's turn to get a shock or a surprise of some sort. Friday the 9th is the day of the Cancer moon, and I like this new moon. Like I said, when we have Cancer energy, it can be very moody. This new moon does trine Neptune, which I do like for new moons, just because Neptune is visions and dreams and mirrors and screens and cameras and spirituality. And it's a sort of dreamy energy around calling in what is sort of aligned with us and what feels really heart-centered with the new moon in Cancer. Like maybe that person, that opportunity was a no, let's go find our yes. And it's sort of the energy of wanting to maybe be a little bit more introspective, a little bit more like within your own space or whatever feels safe to you, or the people that feel safe to you, or the environments that feel safe to you, or the creativity that makes you feel safe. It's an energy of wanting to like sort of cocoon inward and being okay with that. On Saturday the 10th, the Cancer moon will oppose Pluto, at which point it is void at 9:10 a.m. The moon is void all day until it enters Leo at 5:21 p.m. So Saturday, not really day to do anything terribly important. The moon in Cancer, a little bit more inclined to want to stay home, not really in the mood to like want to go out and do all the things. Just a time to sort of recover from the week, recover emotionally, recover perhaps physically, and to anchor into what makes you feel safe. And I know it's hot girl summer, and here I am telling you to stay home. Not necessarily, but when I say what makes you feel safe, Cancer is the energy around home, around family, around emotional state. So it's this energy of really anchoring into what soothes us, and allowing ourselves to find that value from within rather than outsourcing it, of feeling pretty because we're on a date with someone and they say we're pretty, or feeling like our art is worth something because it gets this many likes, or just outsourcing these like almost confidence boosts. And with the Cancer new moon, it's almost this feeling of being like, I'm good, I'm proud of me, I'm in integrity with who I am, and that's enough. My close circle knows who I am, my art is the way that I want it to be, and that's enough. I don't have to explain myself to you people. I don't need to chase your approval or try to make this person like me. I'm okay, I'm good, thank you. Thank you next, as Cancer Ariana Grande once said. And then we might feel a little bit more showy, a little bit more in the mood to step out when the moon enters Leo. And that's really nice because the sun and the moon are in mutual reception. Planets are working together, and what that means is that the sun is in a sign that rules the moon, Cancer, and the moon is in the sign that rules the sun, Leo. So they're helping each other. And we might notice our emotions are a little bit more bold, we're feeling ourselves, we're in the mood to step out. And then on Sunday, the 11th, Mercury moves into Cancer. So adding to this Leo Cancer party that we have within the cosmos, now all of the inner planets, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars are all being ruled by the Sun or the Moon. And these are personal planets. So it's a time for being extra. It's a time for being extra in your emotions. It's a time for being extra in stepping out in your finest outfits. Nothing is too over the top with these energies. It's so instinctive, and it's such sort of a raw energy of feeling the way that you feel and dressing the way you want to dress and being okay with that and not needing to outsource or do it for approval or anything like that. With Mercury in Cancer, we might notice that we're a little bit more nostalgic. We're a little bit more thinking about the past. It's the feeling after said bad day of vibe check that you're like, should I go back to my ex? And reminiscing on different, reminiscing on different memories that you may have had with them. You might notice that you're a little bit more, sentimental with your language, with your thought processes. And the Leo moon will oppose Saturn and square Uranus. So the Leo moon is under a little stress on Sunday, but just be extra and don't care what anyone says. Just be extra and don't let people tell you that you are too much or that you can't be an entrepreneur or that you can't be whatever your bad date told you. Please comment below what your bad date told you, because this sort of energy is like, don't need that. On to the next thing. I know it's gonna ruin my summer. Friends, thank you so much for watching to the end. And for secret word of the week, we're gonna do something a little different. So I'm a word nerd. Let me know if you're also a word nerd. And I like to learn new words and use them in a sentence. So we're gonna use it as like an educational experience. So the secret word, I'll give you the definition. And then if you can use it below in a sentence, you get extra points. And maybe we can use it throughout the week and learn this word and pepper it into conversation. So today's word of the week is elucidate. I'll have the spelling on the screen, and what it means is to make something clear or to explain. So here I am to elucidate the cosmos to you. So use it in a sentence below. The more creative, the better. My Instagram handle is @HaleyCometAstrology. My TikTok is the same. I would love to chat with you over there. And until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay